Guys, welcome back again to another Tech Guru video. Today we are in Adobe InDesign. This is going to be a very beginner tutorial on the basic rundown of tools within InDesign CS6. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as you see here, I've got a few things laid out for us to play with so I can demonstrate some of the tools. But before we even go into that, let's focus in on opening up a new document. So once you're in InDesign, you go to File, New, and you have an option to make documents, books, or go to your library. So let's go ahead and look into Document. Once you are in the New Document panel here, you will see a few different options. Your document preset is set on default. Now, if you change any of these settings under here, it will change over to Custom. So let's say I'm doing a magazine and I want to add 30 pages to my magazine. Well, I can go ahead and click on 30 here, and I will now have a document with 30 pages. These facing pages, that's if you're doing a magazine or a booklight template, and you want the start page to be on page number 1. Page size can be letter, legal, and tabloid. It can be any of these options here. That's just the size of each specific page. And then you can have columns and that kind of stuff. And all of this is getting into your margins. You can also go ahead and say if this is going to be for web, or now there is a new option in CS6, digital publishing, for stuff like the iPad, Kindle, any kind of digital media consumer device such as that. So go ahead and click print if that's what you want to do, and then click OK, and you will be presented with a new document. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that now. Now once you're in InDesign, you will see all of your tools right over here on the left hand side. These are what I like to call the main focal point tools, okay? The tools you're going to be using the most. The first tool we're going to focus on is this tool right here, okay? This is what I call, well, not what I call, what everyone calls the selection tool, okay? It is a black arrow there. You click on that. I can click on an object on the screen. I can move it anywhere I want. So if I want this over here, I can move it and drag it that way. Now, the next one here is called the direct selection tool. Now, with the direct selection tool, you can do a little more fine tuning. So you can actually click on specific points like I have here on this polygon, and you can actually manipulate them and make them move in certain areas and adjust the shape there. So the direct selection tool allows you to do a little more than just move stuff around. The next thing you're going to see here is your page tool. Now, what this does is if you have this selected, after you have gone into your document, you can actually click on the page tool here, go up to the top, and you can actually drag, make it smaller, or make it bigger. Now, I recommend, unless you really know what you're doing, I would not mess with that too much, because if you are designing for print, there are specific standards for print pages, so I wouldn't mess with that. But if you do have a specific need for adjusting the page width or height or rotation or whatever it may be, you can click on that page tool there. Now, the gap tool. Before I get into the gap tool, I'm going to lead into this. One of the great things about InDesign is its grid feature. Now, with the grid feature, it allows you to take an object like this polygon tool, and if you notice right here, I'm going to zoom in, all of these green arrows come up, okay? If I center it in the page, I will see a pink line come down the center vertically. Now, if I scroll down just a little bit here, I will see another pink line right there. That means I am directly in the center of the page. So if I let go, that object is now directly in the center of the page. Now, another awesome thing is this. So let's say I've got this box right here, and I want this polygon to be exactly in between my text and my box. I can actually click and hold, and I can center it, and if you notice the two green lines over to the right hand side, that means there is the same exact width between this text box as well as this gradient rectangle here. So that's just a little bit about the grid tools, and there's so much more you can do with them, and I'll tell you about that later. The gap tool allows you to go in here and adjust the gap distance between the end of your page. So if you need a specific distance between this text and the end or the side of the page, you can click and drag and take that text to the right or you can take that text to the left, depending on what you want to do. And you can do all of this with the gap tool, okay? The content collector tool, I'm not going to go too much into that right now. The type tool is pretty self-explanatory. You can click on that. You can click and hold and drag and make a text box, and I'm going to go ahead and make our text bigger. And you do that just like you would within a word processor. Once you're in your text box, you can go right up here to the top of the screen, and you can do all of your editing within your text. You can change the stroke color, you can change the fill color, you can change the size of that text by going up here just like you would in a Microsoft Word, clicking on that, and then you can go and just start typing in your text. Now I'm going to get rid of that text box here for us just for a second, just to get it out of the way. Now the next tool is the line tool, okay? And you can go and draw a line, vertical or horizontal, however you want to do it. To make sure that the line is exactly straight, hold down the shift key, and it doesn't matter how shaky you are with the mouse, the line will always be perfectly straight, okay? The next tool is the pen tool, and for those of you who have used Adobe products before, you know what this is. This is a tool that allows you to go and draw exact points and go up and actually curve lines and make some weird funky shapes. And if you're an artist and you know all about graphic design, then the pen tool is definitely for you. The next tool is the pencil tool, so you can go in here and draw stuff out just like you would with a normal pencil. So if you want to write letters or draw something out, you can do that with the pencil tool. The next tool we are going to look at is the rectangle frame tool. I'm going to scroll down here to my next page, and I've got a few frames open for you, okay? Now, with the frame tool, you can click and hold. There's rectangle, ellipse, and polygon frame tools. I've taken a picture of my dog here, and I've put it in this nice elliptical frame tool that I've drawn out. Let me show you exactly how these frame tools work. It's a really neat feature that will really go a long way within InDesign, okay? So if I want to insert a picture into this rectangle frame here, all I will need to do will go to File, and then I will go to Place. With that rectangle selected, I will click on my image wherever it may be on my computer and click Open. Now, once I do that, you may say, well, that doesn't look right. Well, it doesn't, because I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to minimize this picture and get it the size and the width that I want it. So once I've drug that picture where I want it, okay, and you can see now it's kind of coming a little more into focus. I'm going to drag it up right there. Now, that doesn't look right, obviously. So what we may have to do is kind of shrink the picture a little bit, however it may be, okay? And if you want to, you can actually click on this right here. There's an option. It says down here at the bottom, it says Fitting. If you go to Fill Frame Proportionately, it will actually do that in a proportionate manner, okay? So that is how you use the frame tools within Adobe InDesign. And what I've done here is just drawn out some lines with the line tool to go around my dog there. Now, the last few things that I'm going to show you are a few tools down here. This is the gradient tool. If you draw out a box, okay, so if I got a rectangle here, and I can hold shift to make an exact square, so hold shift and go down, and that will make a perfect square for me. I can click on the gradient tool, drag it diagonally, and that will have me a diagonal gradient, and you can add colors to that gradient, and I will show you how to do that in a future video. The next thing we see here is the gradient feather tool, just more detailed gradient stuff going on there. And then the eyedropper tool. I want to show you exactly what that can do. Go up here to the first page. Let's say I want this text to match the color of this polygon, okay? What I'm going to do is select my eyedropper tool. I'm going to hover over the color that I want. I'm going to click and select. Now that exact color has come up right here. So what I will do is now I'm going to select my text. I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool once again and click one time on that blue color. Now if I deselect off, okay, it shows that blue color right here, okay, is now what my fill color is going to be. So if I want to change this color of the yellow circle to this blue color that's within the polygon, all I will do is go up here and click on that, and that matches that color exactly. So right here you got your hand tool. It allows you to click and hold and drag, so if you've got multiple pages or if you're zoomed in, you can click and hold and drag that way. And then of course lastly we have our zoom tool. By left clicking with the zoom tool, you can zoom in, or you can hit Command or Control plus or Command and Control minus to zoom in and zoom out. Now if you want to zoom in on a specific feature, so if I wanted to zoom in on this circle, I could click, hold, and drag exactly where I wanted to zoom in, and that's exactly what I would see. So guys, this is just a basic rundown of the tools within Adobe InDesign CS6. If you have any questions, I answer all of them. Put them in the comment box below. Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. And as always, guys, look forward to seeing you next time.